Mr. 2020 and the Golden One dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
Welcome back, everyone, to the grandest podcast of them all. You have the Golden One and you have Mr. 2020. We're back. Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. It's been a while.
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, everything's been pretty well warranted. Both our lives are busy outside of this. And family always comes first. So there we go. The only thing I want to know is, have we had a podcast since you went to Montville for the Pure Pro Wrestling, number one? And number two, the last podcast we did, was it before the last show I did in Florida, or was it after? I can't remember right off.
Well, I went to Pure Pro Wrestling, and then we didn't do another podcast for a couple weeks.
Okay, so the wrestling show that I did was,
I think the wrestling show was in the little busy part of the schedule.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we can touch
I
base.
think we talked about you doing it.
Okay.
But it was at the weekend after we did the last podcast or something.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe we can touch base on see how the experience was in Montville for you at the Pure Pro show, and because it's a new facility there, because the other one burnt down a few years back, 3 or 4 years ago, I believe, maybe 5. It's been a while. And then they built the new one. So by all indications shown online, it's the clips I've seen, it looks like a very nice new facility. The other one was a little older, of course, but it was there for quite a while. And that's the one I got to work in when I was in that area. I have not seen the new one. So, but anyway, do you want to start off with that, or you want to hit some WrestleMania notes and come back to that?
No, we'll skip mine. I'm just kidding. No, it was a good show. I was getting a little aggravated there at the beginning because everybody, it didn't matter who, they was cheering for the good people. It wasn't one person booing the good guys.
Yeah.
And I know, it is what it is. And I was like, it's got to be that one person that likes the heels.
Right.
Well, it was. The Golden One started pulling for the heels.
I could see that.
The only time I did not pull for the heels was in the main event, because it was a 6-person tag.
Yeah.
It's been probably about 3 weeks now, so I can't remember everybody. But the Yellow Man was up in the main event, and so I had to cheer for him.
Okay.
And everything. But man, the kids at that place, they was getting into it. Jimmy Love, the world champion there, they just called him Tater Tot.
Tater Tot, okay.
His tag team partner, I don't know what kind of gimmick it was. It was kind of
the guy does a gigolo type gimmick. He kind of reminds you of, do you remember Adrian Adonis?
I think so.
He kind of reminds you of Adrian Adonis WWF days a little bit.
If it's that one, they was calling him Jelly Roll.
Okay.
And then they was getting into it, man. The other one was like a bald-headed geek, and I think that was like the manager that was there. So I can't remember the other person. It was like the kids was getting into it.
I think it was Aubrey Wright.
Maybe
he's from Salem, yeah.
But man, the kids, like I said, they was getting into it, and which made it great because like they started interacting with the fans more and
Right.
stuff. They was doing it throughout the show, but when the kids was getting into it, you could really see it. But this, the little old lady stands up in the back doing the tickets
Hmm.
when the people come in and stuff. Oh man, they got it cool with somebody up on the ring. They was yelling. They would thought it was like real and serious. I thought they was about to jump in the ring there for a minute.
Okay.
But I mean, they was yelling and fussing, and but like I said, I like the yellow man. He was good. Uh, he's gonna be part of the Pure Pro Wrestling. It sounds like more often now, so you will be able to see him in Montville and stuff. Uh, I just saw online where their next show is May 9th.
Yeah, another Saturday. Hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Same night as
but
Backlash.
yeah,
Yeah.
but my thing is I like tag team wrestling, real tag team wrestling, like
Yes.
2-on-2 and stuff.
Hmm.
But the tag team champions, it was some masked man. I can't think of the name right now, but like uh, the other guy was like Bitcoin, like Bit Don or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, they honestly they was a really good tag team, and I hate to say it, but they was going for the longest reigning tag team championship, in which I showed you the pictures.
Hmm.
I try to do like a Facebook Live during it, but the internet there sucked, so I couldn't do nothing. But they lost titles. Uh, the good guys hit the ref, and then the other ref comes in and counts the pin. They thought it was a title change. It wasn't, and then the regular ref called the uh, match and said it was a disqualification, so they kept the title.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, over the weekend in Franklin County, they lost the tag team championships.
Okay.
Are they going to be a tag team anymore? I don't know. I thought they was a good tag team when I see it. Now it's rumors like you could tell in Montville there was something going between them. Like they wasn't right on like the same page, but they got the job done. Like you could tell like a good tag team.
Yeah.
When they lost the championships, apparently it's trouble in paradise for the tag team.
Hmm.
So will they still stay a tag team? I don't know. But there's only one way to find out, and that's go to Pure Pro Wrestling when they come to your town and see for yourself.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's good, man. I'm good. It was. I'm really glad it was a good experience. Because it's 2023 was the last time I performed with that group in June of 2023. Um, up in Wirtz, and I did an hour-long match with current champion at the time was Lee Valiant, and went against Colton Cage, young guy. But yeah, that was it was an hour long. Luckily, we was in an air conditioned building because I remember doing shows back in Armory days, doing these Iron Man matches, man, and you just sweat. And the time you got out of there, it's like you took a shower because you were in there so long, and the refs have long pants, and if you're smart, you got knee pads on. It makes you sweat more, and you got your, you just head to toe, you got clothes on. Some of the guys don't, but yeah, everybody's drained by the end of that. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad you had a good time. Pure Pro seems to be kicking still, and that's the closest they get to Roanoke area for the Roanoke
yeah.
fans. So if
They,
except for they got one coming at the Taco Fest or something. I forgot about that. May
yeah,
2nd.
that was in the Civic Center, right? I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
at the Civic Center.
So
Uh,
yeah, I guess they did that, and remember back in the holiday or
they
sometime
did
recently,
they did there for the railroad dogs or something.
the Rail Dogs.
Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so they hit Roanoke, but not as
yeah,
often as Montville. So
yeah. I
So it's
don't know
good.
how it's going to be at the Civic Center, but I mean, we talk about cheap wrestling, like to like because everything's so expensive. I
Yep.
mean, $15 and you got like 3 hours of entertainment
Yeah.
and everything. So I didn't realize it was like 3 hours, but I was like, man, I'm really getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good experience. You get your money's worth. You get more than your money's worth. I mean, it's really good. So
Yeah. Good, man. So, what about personally? Anything new personally? Or we talk a little bit, but sometimes we miss things when we talk in our conversations. Trying to catch up because the last month is not even many conversations as we used to do at least a good two a week, and then the podcast would make it another
yeah.
conversation. But anything else going on that you may have missed to mention?
Um, just Carl from Walmart. He did say hi to you.
Oh, Carl,
Uh,
yeah, I'm glad
yeah,
you spoke to him.
yeah, it was a little bit of a rumor that he's no longer with us, which I don't know where those rumors came from.
Me neither. I don't know who
But
would start such a thing.
he is still kicking. Not that much, but he's kicking
Yeah,
at work, and he did say hey, and for some reason you didn't return his calls.
I don't think he's called me recently. Maybe it's been
Well,
months ago and I forgot.
I don't know. Seems like I'm a better friend than you was. So I talked to
Yeah,
him at work.
yeah, and you never thought you'd see that day, did you?
Nope. I tried to
Yeah,
get away from him and went to the other side of the store.
yeah. Wow. So yeah, since the last time we had the podcast, you was at Pure Pro. You got to actually go out
Yep,
there to Montville finally. I know you've been planning it for quite a while, but something always comes up.
yep.
So that's cool. Yellow Man was there. It's awesome because he really wasn't scheduled, I don't think, but he was there. It's pretty cool. But I did the show down here in Hudson for Florida Pro Wrestling a few weeks back. My next one is coming up on May the 8th. So Friday night, May 8th, up in Winter Haven at the Tanner's Lakeside. Beautiful venue on the side of the big lake. It's right on the water. The wind blows at night. It's cool, breezy. It's nice. And we always have a nice house there. So I'm looking forward to that. Really great talent. And I got to work with Billy Silverman again, former WCW ref on that show. And then May 8th is the same thing again. Me and Billy are calling all the action. But a good group of new talent on the rise. Some are old school that make you really believe the sport. And then, you got a lot of the other younger guys that like to do the more of a young bucks, we can use term, or lucha style. We'll use lucha. So you got and some ladies got a little bit of everything going on. Florida Pro is really one of the better promotions in the Florida area. So I suggest anybody down this way, check it out and come on out and get a photo, a picture with us, or Billy carries some pics, and I carry some pics, older photos from like the older days, like WCW and stuff, and we'll sign it for you. But Tokyo Monster Kahagas, Triple Crown NWA champion, he is actually the being that the business is not kayfabed anymore. He's actually the owner and operator of this organization, and he does a really great job. So always a good time, man. With that said, personally, on my end, it's just been crazy, busy work, and trying to sightsee a little bit of Florida again because I've been back less than a year, and just trying to enjoy the nice weather that we get here with the palm trees and the nice water, and that's about it, man. So nothing bad's going on, which is great. I love not having any issues, and everything seems good, and everything looks good on your end, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
So just kicking, man. Gotta get this podcast back rolling again, like we did at one time. So today is Tuesday, April 21st. But the bigger thing is it's the Tuesday after Mania and the Tuesday after the Raw after Mania. So a lot of things even happened last night on Raw. As I watched it last night.
Hey, hold on. I wanted. We talked about this. I don't want to cut you off,
Yeah.
and it's gonna go off of the WrestleMania talk for a minute. But I want to talk about one thing,
Okay.
and for me personally, I don't like it. But Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous,
Oh.
whoever they are, no, they want us to talk more about AEW.
Yeah.
What's up with Darby Allin winning the world championship? I like the kid and
Yeah.
everything. Good high flyer. But for me, it's not believable that he's the world champion and how he won the championship.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about that, honestly, in your opinion? Is it really believable? And why do you think they put the championship on him? Because there's a couple stories going around why he might have been able, why they put the title on him.
Okay.
But do you really think he's a believable world champion?
Well, this is sort of a political answer here too. So, with the landscape of the business has changed, I believe at this point in the industry, any guy on any promotion's roster could be a world champion. It's just the way it is, right? That's my political answer. He is talented. It is a big movement. He is popular with the fans. My other question would be, is he that popular that they would give him the heavyweight strap, right? That's the question. Is he that over? Is his merch sales out the roof? Is most of the crowd's reaction mainly for him? They do a survey for the company and everybody's like, we love Darby Allin, right? So that's the other question. Why was he put in a position to be world champion? Why did the company think he should be world champion? Number one and number two, whatever. Should he be world heavyweight champion for a company though? In my honest opinion, I would have to say no. And it's nothing against Darby Allin because I worked with him when he was trying to get into Evolve back in the day, the OG Evolve, the Evolve before the WWE took it over, right? Ran by Gabe Sapolsky and Sal, and the same group that took us all to China in 2015. I did Mania Week, and I met Darby in Dallas, Texas. I'm scaring off a little bit, I know. But here's the thing. And I'm not trying to start any trouble, and I really don't care. But when we talk about that weekend in Dallas, I was just so like, why is these guys that's running this national promotion, indie promotion, that's really big, one of the biggest indie promotions ever, right? Why are they basically on his, I'll say it in a way where you know where I'm going. Why are they basically on his lap? Does that make sense? And I never understood it. Because I literally saw one of the guys that run this thing, basically between him and Will Ospreay that weekend. Oh my God, there was a lot of gagging going on, bro. It was just too much telling these kids how great they are, how great they're going to be. But what do I know? I'm not there running a major company either, right? So whatever. But the kids are talented.
Look, it's almost like, in my opinion, in WWE, Danhausen defeating Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
To me, that's almost like what it is. Like Danhausen, he could be talented, like if you watch some Danhausen stuff, he can be
Yeah.
talented.
Well,
If he takes like the like the comedy part away, he can be talented.
well, let me
He's
ask.
over with the fans and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
almost so, but it's not
Well,
believable.
okay, got you. But let me ask you this: back to Darby Allin, since we're on that subject. What is what's your main reason why you say he's not believable?
I think it's more like a old school type thing. Like for me, I don't believe like it was a good moment like when Rey Mysterio won the championship, like how the storyline was, but it's not believable that he was world champion material all them years.
Right.
It's not a world champion should be like a heavyweight, in my opinion.
Right. Um.
Uh, like what? Like okay, so how he won the match? They traded low blows and then a coffin, like four coffin drop moves. It's just a splash, a backward splash. He knocks him out with two. He did not move on two
Yep.
of them.
Yep.
And then the third one, he hits him because Darby had to pull him to the thing. He's like out. So then after the third one, he rolls. MJF rolls to the side, takes another one, and then he kind of moves. I think I can't remember how the fourth one was, but he hits him with the fourth one, pretty much knocks him out again, and then wins the match.
Mhm.
Who wins really off just a splash?
Well, I will say this: he the same finish was done like 3 or 4 years ago on some indie show, Beyond or some
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, I
So
saw
that's
that.
why there's been talk that maybe MJF was injured and they did that finish like that, right? But after seeing it years ago done, it makes me wonder that they just like, hey, let's go do this finish tonight,
Yeah.
and obviously somebody wrote off on it, said go ahead and do it, right? But I mean, the kid's talented, but being world champion for your company, carrying that title, I just hope there's a real reason behind it, right? That
Yeah.
makes sense. That he's got merch sales out the roof. And is he really that over? I don't know. I can't say. I
Like he's
haven't heard.
over. Like he's over.
But is he over like
Well,
Rover, man? You know what I'm saying?
like I don't. In my opinion, I don't think he's that over
Yeah.
where they were just like, okay, you deserve this. We're just gonna slap it on you.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
I said, like I don't want to get no heat from Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous because we're talking about AEW,
yeah.
but it's just not believable for me.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I just say this. I see where you're coming from, but like I said, the way the landscape of this business has changed. I mean, last night on Raw, your main event match on the show was Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Is that his name?
Yeah, but I mean that's not a. It's the main event, but it's not for the world championship.
No, but they're being portrayed as main event talents. I mean, they could go against anyone.
No, Finn could because he's been world champion like all over the place.
Mhm.
But JD, that's really not believable. In my opinion, I like Finn. I like the whole street fight they did at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then JD was up in that ladder match, got his ribs were taped. But it wasn't believable that JD was in that match for as long as he was with injured ribs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he was it and actually held his own against them.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
they had a really good match last night.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to take nothing away from it.
Yeah.
But if you're that injured where like you're taped up and stuff, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I'm still like the ones like trying to still believe where like if you're injured, like or a storyline like you're injured,
Yeah.
act like you're injured, like
Yeah.
you know, like Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Darby Allin's good. I like him.
Yep.
Just don't think he's world champion material.
Well, I'll just put
That's
it
my
this way:
opinion.
they don't have a light heavyweight title, do they?
No, but they got like 10 different titles.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have done like the Continental Championship, which it could kind of be their light heavyweight in a way. They just got the what's that one that they just did? The one that was kind of ripped off of
The
NWA.
national title.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got that one. Like, if you're gonna, okay, so I think if Darby, if he would have worked his way and start getting like more championships,
Yeah.
then maybe I can believe it more.
Okay.
But he had like an early TNT run and then a tag
Yeah.
championship, which they didn't really defend him that much. Him and Sting,
Yeah.
they did a couple times, but not like against like really good tag teams. It was just
Yeah.
here and there, except for like the last match. So it kind of wasn't really nothing, in my opinion, to say, oh, he's going to be the next star
Mm-hmm.
for our company.
Yeah.
I think
I
he just
see.
got. I think he really just got it because he got that title opportunity, and if MJF did get injured, it's like, oh, this is the quickest way to get it off. That could make sense,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be, or it could have been. Who knows? Maybe they're like, "Hey, let's shock the system. Let's do this. Let's try something new. Let's see if this sticks. Let's see if this works." And he still got the title, obviously, because he just won it last Wednesday. Does he have a challenger tonight on Dynamite?
I don't think so.
Okay. And maybe I was thinking maybe it was a short run, maybe just something to shock the people, and then next thing you know, he doesn't have it. But
I mean, it could be.
yeah,
I don't know.
he
I mean,
he
it was just driving me nuts.
he'd be a good fit at in the X division type, like
Yeah,
TNA X division. I mean, he really would. I mean, he's a very talented kid, but I do see your point. But then again, and it's kind of political. It's kind of not. It's the way the business has changed, and some of the things they're going to do is not in our minds of how especially someone that's been in over 30 years like me and got in the business when it was still totally different. My mindset's going to be a little different. And a lot of people say, well, that's stupid to keep the same mindset. But realistically, here's the thing: pro wrestling is pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is supposed to be, regardless if people know the way it is now, everyone, of course, is supposed to be, guys getting there, putting on competitive matches in a sports type atmosphere. And then you had, of course, you had the big heavyweights, sometimes a super heavyweight. You had the light heavyweights, and they used to have them in their division. But when the business went off the rails and they didn't have a weight class division no more to put these guys in, I think that also put us in a different stratosphere to work with. Just like the X division had no weight limits. That was one of their slogans, I believe.
yeah,
And I think that changed the game when the business went to that. But this started slowly throughout the years, the latter 90s, the Attitude Era, when the WWF was trying to beat WCW and vice versa, right? And we had all this different writing. It was Crash TV, they called it. And, Crash TV was, a couple minute matches and segments that you were like, what the hell just happened? I've never seen this on pro wrestling before. It's kind of like Jerry Springer met pro wrestling, right? So, you got to look at it that way. But here's another thing, though, man. What do you think's more believable? Or do you think it's on the same level of this? I got one for you. Do you think intergender match, man versus woman, is on the same level as MJF getting beat by Darby Allin?
I mean,
Is it as
yeah,
bad?
it's not. It's getting there. Like,
Okay.
um, it's so. I mean, a woman being a man, it don't make like it's not believable. So when Tessa won and everything, I didn't believe that.
But can I say one thing? It may not. It's really not believable. You are 100% right. Even if they could whip the guy's rear, it's still not good TV. Does that make sense? Even if they really could, let's just put it that way. Even if a woman could beat the living daylights out of her opponent, realistically, it does not make sense in that type of forum. You know.
Yeah.
So this ain't bar fighting. It's professional. It's supposed to be professional wrestling. So yeah. So I'm not saying these girls ain't tough. I'm just saying it ain't believable. That's all we say. I'm not saying they're not good athletes. They're not tough. Because hell, back in the day, you had women like Luna Vachon and Medusa, right?
Yeah.
Fabulous Moolah. They could whip some guys' rear ends, right? Legit. Because Moolah used to train guys as well as girls at her school in Columbia, South Carolina. So she's tough. She could really beat men. But the point is, back then they knew better than putting a man versus woman because nobody wanted to watch it, right? So something happened along the way where a lot of people's accepted this, and that's good. But they're probably the same people that accept that are the same people that watch the Olympics and it's okay with men competing in women's sports. You know what I'm saying? It's probably the same people that believe that's okay. So that's another subject, another day. I had to ask you that question, though. I just had to ask if it ranks up there. But no, all kidding aside, or opinionated aside, I'm interested to see where they're going with Darby Allin now because it is a shock. I wouldn't have saw that in a million years. Obviously, you wouldn't have saw it in a million years. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. Because the kid is talented, but should he be the heavyweight champion to carry the crown?
No.
Maybe years later, but right now, no. I don't think he's quite there. But who knows? Maybe he is. Maybe like I said, his merch is selling, and the people really love him more than we think than we think. And he's a hot ticket, bro. I don't know. Maybe he is. So, but yeah, good question to bring up.
Sorry, that happened before WrestleMania, so I had to slide that in there real quick.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to your WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And the Raw.
The Raw after.
Yeah.
So WrestleMania itself, we saw Roman Reigns defeat CM Punk.
Yep.
Roman Reigns is once again your world champion. Is that the world championship or the WWE championship?
The world.
Okay, I always get that confused because I always hated that. I always thought you should have one title, but whatever. So yeah, I hate the two brand splits. I always have. But I see why they do it because they have 800 talents and they got to do something, right? It makes sense why you have two sets of tag belts, two heavyweight champions, blah, blah, blah. Intercontinental, U.S., they had everything, right? So I think that was a good move. I think Roman is still over with the public to the degree that I think he comes back. He has a run with the title. He's back with the Usos. Apparently, they went out with him last night for the promo to end Raw. And, Roman can talk. Roman is good on the mic. I think he looks like an athlete because he really is a real athlete. He was a football player before wrestling. He's good, right? Always in good shape. Looks like a pro wrestler. He's a heavyweight champion. There you go. That goes back to your first question. That's the heavyweight champion, Roman Reigns, right? But what really gets me, man, I was glad to see him win the belt. I don't know what your opinion is, but Jacob Fatu comes out and challenges him at Backlash here in Tampa, Florida on May 9th. And apparently, with the way they left it, looks like Roman and him are going to be on next week's Raw. I guess he gives him his answer, whether he's giving him a shot or whatever. I think they're just building the feud up slowly. But here's my other question, Mike, because I'm a little out of the loop on this whole thing. Has Jacob Fatu been having problems with Roman in the past on the television shows, or what's the deal with that?
I don't. As far as I know, they're not having problems. They never really went like really face to face that much.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, I think it's gonna be a good match. Uh, I don't. The part I don't understand is Jacob challenges Roman, then Roman tells him to give him Jacob that Jacob's got to give Roman the answer to make sure next week. Like, if you're coming out to challenge, that's the challenge. Like, I don't have to think about it if I'm the challenger.
Yeah.
But so far the only thing I got. Whatever. But the storyline almost feels like the beginning of the Bloodline storyline back in the day when it was Roman versus Jey Uso.
Okay.
It almost got like that little bit of vibe. So I hope it don't go down that way.
Yeah.
I like Jacob by himself. Hopefully, he can be aligned with them later on in the storyline and stuff, but not really be part of the group.
Yeah.
What's up?
I really enjoy the. They both cut a good promo. It was an interesting promo when they faced each other, and Jacob came back with what he needs. He didn't say he wanted it. He needs it. He needs that world title. He needs this. He needs that. And it was a good promo. And I'm interested to see where it goes. And it looks like that will be one of the matches at Backlash. So that'll be an interesting match. Jacob Fatu is very talented. He's very agile for his size. But a lot of the Samoan all the Samoans have been very, very agile and good. Even Yoko at his size, I mean, he could get around and bump and look good. So I'm looking forward to it. I'd actually like to see that match, to be honest with you, because it's something different too. And they're both big guys, and they're going to go at it hard, man. So
yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I like Jacob.
Yeah,
he was even good in MLW when he was there, the world champion.
Yeah, that's when I first saw him. Yep.
So I like, he's believable as a world champion. So that kind of makes it where like people should invest in this match more, I think. But like, what do you do? Like, do you really have Roman lose the title right after he wins it? Like, was it just a way to get it off the Punk because of sales, like ticket sales and stuff, and just trying to drive them? Like, is Jacob not going to win after winning his unsanctioned match against Drew at WrestleMania? Like, are you going to stop his momentum? Like, I like to see like which way they're going to go, because you're stopping somebody's momentum.
Yeah.
I just hope if Jacob loses, he don't lose all the momentum that he does have, because it took him a while to get it back last time he lost it.
Right.
But hopefully hopefully he does good, because I think he could really be a really future star of the business in WWE.
Mm-hmm. So moving along real quick before we go back to the Mania matches, the Street Profits are back. They came in last night on a run in the Vision. And the Vision, of course, is Austin Theory and Logan Paul.
Yep.
And they got Heyman as their mouthpiece. I mean, they talk, but Heyman is Heyman. He was always good. When he was Paulie Dangerously, he was good. But anyway, so it looks like the Street Profits are going back straight into tag team title contention, by the way it looks. So I wonder if that's not going to be a setup match for the next pay-per-view or something, you know? It's interesting to see because I believe it is a Raw branded Backlash, I believe, by having Reigns on it, I would assume. So, well, first off, you like good tag team wrestling, right?
Yeah.
You said that. Do you think the Street Profits are going to have good tag team match with the Vision? Because Logan Paul is as bad as a lot of people hate him. He's an athlete. I mean, you know, he is an athlete, and he's good. He picked up the business really good from coming a YouTube or TikTok sensation. He's probably both. I know he's some kind of social media sensation, but you know, but that and Austin Theory, that kid's good. I just think that that should be. But here's the thing: I don't want him to come in to title contention, right? They build it up for 3 weeks or whatever it is to go to the Backlash, have their title match, and let's say the Vision retain the title, and that's it, right? I don't want that. I want to see something back from the old days where they have a feud between two guys or two tag teams, and they build it, and they have many matches, and finally the big blow-off match that means it all, right? That's what we need. But a lot of this, like I believe the thing with Jacob Fatu is only going to be up to Backlash. I mean that's my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't see him taking it any farther than that. And it kind of makes me wonder if they would take, with so many tag teams in the WWE, right? Makes me wonder if the Street Profits, if they get their match with the Vision, is that going to be a one-off, right? And that's it. So we'll have to see, but I'd like to see some old school play behind some of these feuds, man, where we have a good 3 to 6 month angle. I mean, sometimes we do get that, right? Still, but I'd like to see the build up, and I don't mean let's do a build up right after WrestleMania. Like right now, we're seeing Punk and Rhodes, right? And then they'll have a couple matches. Or they'll start it, and then you won't hear nothing about it until lead into WrestleMania next year. And then you'll be like, I waited the whole damn year to see this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe the booking is, in their mind is, hey, if we do this, we'll sell all these tickets to Mania, and we'll sell all the PLEs and all this. But I don't know what the thinking is, because in the old days, you know, the business model of the business have changed. There's no house shows no more. Before it was all your TV, like would have been, let's set this up for this long feud, and they'd go take this thing around house shows, loops, and everything, right? So the business model's changed. But I'd like to see something substantial with some of these matches coming up and not a one-off. I don't want a one-off of that tag team against tag team. They're both good tag teams. Let's have a little series with these guys. Let's go a few PLEs with it, right? Let's even if you just use your Raw to build the feud, and you don't let them. I'm not saying you can let them touch, like maybe in a brawl, but don't have any matches. Sell them at all your PLEs, maybe. You know, make it sound bigger than what it is. But who knows what their thinking is.
I don't know. Like I said, I love tag team wrestling. Love the Good Brothers and stuff. Like that's why I'm probably like still mostly into wrestling because of tag team. So that got me back into wrestling and stuff like that. So, but my thing is, I probably so WWE's got one of the best tag divisions out there. They really do. They got great tag teams. They don't use them. like one of the best tag teams in TNA history. Probably is definitely in the top 10. I say maybe in the top 5. The Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay.
You bring them in, they win the titles, they lose. Where are they?
Right.
You got them on like your 5th show or something, like Superstars or whatever that one is. Like they're not even on the main roster half the time anymore. Like
Yeah.
they got really good tag teams, but I don't know who's in charge of it. I don't know who's like producing, if it's creative. Somebody there in WWE does not know how to book tag team wrestling anymore. They got good matches, but they don't know how to book them anymore.
Right.
AEW, I will say, they will. They got they got good tag teams. Probably not the best out there. Like it's not the best division, but they got really good tag teams. But they know how to book them to make them look better than what they really are. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm just interested to see how all that plays out. I thought Raw was actually a decent Raw. I don't watch every week. I catch mainly I catch clips of most Raws. But last night I was like, the Raw after WrestleMania is normally something to watch, so that's why I did it. So yeah. But back to Mania, man. Now listen, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Man, look at Rhodes' face. Now, that came from his kick, right? Or was that from a punch?
That was that was from the kick.
That's what I thought. The punt kick
Yeah,
he does.
yeah,
Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. I saw that. But them two gave it all. I think Roman and Punk overall had the better match of the weekend, personally. But I think the overall I hate you type atmosphere of a match, you definitely got to get the old school feel to Randy Orton and
yeah,
Cody Rhodes for that, my man. Uh, I think so. But it was kind of
yeah,
like my friend betrayed me type thing. It was kind of cool, right? And then they had
yeah,
their match. So good stuff all the way around. Even though Punk and Rhodes are being set up. We talked about that earlier. They're being set up
yeah,
and something. And Rhodes actually told him last night, anytime, just let me know or something to that effect. So they're
yeah,
setting it up for Rhodes and Punk. So I
yeah,
guess we'll see Punk on SmackDown
yeah.
is my guess. So, but the two
I
big
wonder where Randy's going on with this because they said they're gonna. It sounds like it's gonna be stretched out to where it's gonna be Cody and Orton for a while. Well, now you got Punk up in there.
yeah,
Not even on the same brand, really. So where does Randy fit in this? Is it gonna start being like a triple threat and stuff?
right, yep,
Like if he's gonna win his 15th title, I like to be like one on one. Like I want him to pin the champion, not up in a triple threat where he pins like another challenger. Like I want it to be like one on one, like old school wrestling, you know. But like it's hard to say where does Randy go from here.
yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know where Randy does go from here, but we definitely know where Brock Lesnar's heading out, though, right?
yeah,
Brock Lesnar retired at the end of his match with Obo Fema. Is that his name?
over famous.
Yeah.
Look, you got me all twisted up now.
Okay. I actually like that guy.
Yeah,
Uh, he's actually going to be a major player. But once again, you're talking about who looks like it could be in world title or world champion. He's the guy.
yeah,
Obi, man. Yeah. Oba, man. Or whatever his name. Good
over.
stuff. And Lesnar's passing the torch, obviously, to another guy. And for Lesnar to do that for people for anybody, he's done it over the years after becoming a star as he has, means he sees something there too. So that's a good plus for that. But I heard that his retirement, though, man, was just there. He did it. That's what I'm hearing. That he didn't even tell nobody.
Yeah, well, the rumor was he's going to retire this year at SummerSlam when they're in his hometown. So they're thinking like SummerSlam. But the real question is he really retired? They just released a shirt that kind of thinks he's retired now. But if you pay attention, they never say the word retired. They always say, "Where's he go? Where does Brock go from here?"
Yeah.
So, is it because Brock just retired without telling nobody, or is it some kind of storyline where he could end up facing Obo again at SummerSlam and maybe actually retiring there? But if it does, after he takes off his boots and gloves, left them in the ring, and kind of took that spotlight away from Oba from winning the match, then I don't know how I feel about that, but it got people talking. But like I said, I'm just curious if he really did retire, because they never really said retire, and then it took a while, and then they just said, where does Brock go from here?
Yeah.
So if he's retired, that's like, I'm happy for him. If he did, apparently he went out on his own terms without letting nobody know.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what he wants, then like, I'm happy for him.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm. What about that ladder match?
Man, it was good. I think the right call for Penta to win, in my opinion. Like, if you wanted like a shock factor win, like I could see like Evans or even JD sneaking in to win the title for like that, just that surprise factor.
Right.
But I think Penta actually winning was the right move. But what about Evans with that move to Rusev off the ladder and stuff? Like, he jumped and like caught him with the cutter and stuff. That was really good. Like,
that kid does some high flying stuff. I'm gonna tell you something. I tell you who he reminds me of, and he's very young. He's in his early 20s, I know. Or I don't know. No, yeah, the kid.
Yeah, he's like 23, I think.
Yeah, he's young, right? So he reminds me of, and he's from the Carolinas of all places, but he reminds me of Jeff Hardy a little bit because he's so unpredictable. He's so everywhere, and he goes flying. But I think he's very talented, and he's gonna, if he stays around, man, he'll probably be a major player. You know, he's a guy that if you look at him, he's not the biggest guy in the room, but he's so talented, and I believe in the long run he can get so over like a Jeff Hardy that size does not matter. Because if you're over like that, sky's the limit, man. That kid's really good. But something in the water in the Carolinas, I tell everybody that every day. A lot of us that came from that area over the years, even 30-some years ago when I was being seen. Yeah, you just can't beat it, man. Started with Omega, though. Omega shaped the way of the business for any independent and shaped the way for Ring of Honor and any of these guys that came later. Omega shaped it. I'll tell anybody that to the end of the time. But kid's going places if he stays healthy.
Yeah. Like I didn't know how I felt about him at first when I first saw him.
Yeah.
But I like them. Um, I think like we're talking like with different people. It's like, are they believable as a world champion? I think if he like bulked up a little bit,
Hmm.
like not much, but like he actually like bulked up a little bit more, I could probably see him as a world champion because I think he looks like already bigger than Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to pick on Darby. I'm just saying like,
I,
uh,
you may be.
no, I do like Darby, but
Yeah.
just the match how he won, it wasn't believable.
Hmm.
But like if Evans, like he already looks bigger than AEW's world champion.
Yeah.
So if he just bulks up a little bit more, then maybe like I can see it.
Yeah.
I think it's Darby. If he bulks up, so then I can maybe believe it. He might not be the tallest, but if he bulked up, then maybe, you know?
Right. I just think that that one kid though, Evans, just like Jeff. Jeff's never been a really big guy.
Yeah.
I just feel like Evans, in years to come, um, will be so over probably that, yeah, he'll be championship material for sure. So
Yeah.
I really
Uh,
think so. And
yeah,
you
but
know,
like back in the day, I would have said no, like he would never been world champion material, you know?
yeah,
But like now, how it is,
right, yeah,
I
yeah,
can. He's more like believable than certain people. Uh, but I mean, if you put him, so Seth is like a former world champion. If you
Mhm.
put Evans next to Seth, uh, they're about the same size, I do believe.
Yeah,
He might have to bulk up a little bit more, but they're
right,
about the same size. So that one's believable.
yeah.
So
What about the
I can see it.
What about the women's titles changing?
Uh, well, I know Rio's gonna probably win anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't really do nothing with Jade since she won the title.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, uh, it was kind of disappointing
Yep.
when one of like a protected finisher, like the one wing angel that she used, that Kenny Omega uses, and puts away like everybody.
Yeah.
That move is pretty much protected, like all over, like from New Japan, AEW, it's protected. And then Rhea kicks out of it at WrestleMania.
Right.
So that was like I hated that part, but going into the thing, I knew Rhea was going to win because they just didn't do nothing with Jade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I'm a Jade supporter because of her look
yeah,
alone. I think you know, she just I don't know, she screams stardom.
she does.
Um
My thing is, I think it's more WWE just trying to take her away from AEW that they didn't know what to do with her,
could be.
you know. And then there's like, well, we got all these women that they've been here, we trust them, let's do this. But if we don't do something with her, it's gonna make us look bad if we sign whoever. So let's put the title on her, but they didn't do nothing with her.
Right.
So I think that's all that was. But she, like you said, she screamed star,
Yeah.
and she's a believable champion.
Yeah.
But it's like they was too scared to pull the trigger on her. But I
Right.
know she still, but in AEW, she was. You could tell like she was still green and stuff. Um, I'm not saying that she's that now because she had a good match at WrestleMania. Uh, maybe if she would have came in and went to NXT to get a little bit more training and stuff, because she's still pretty green in the business. I
Mm-hmm.
think. I think it would have been better, but it was. I just think they just try to steal her away and just didn't have no plans for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
great match though.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And something else that you guys need to be concerned with, other than WrestleMania and the Raw after Mania, is you should go over to CowboyRevolution.com right now. Take a look at everything they got to offer you through the merch and everything on that site. And when you check out, guys, all you got to do to save 15% is use the code JamieT123. And if you watch our podcast, the code's right on the screen right now. So don't forget about that. That's JamieT123 at checkout for 15% off at CowboyRevolution.com. And it supports the veterans. That's the main thing. So keep that in mind. So moving back to the talk of the town for right now. They have another ladies match one of the nights with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. What'd you think about that? I think the right person won.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the fans don't want to see it, and right after she won, they called her Becky Hogan again. Which it is what it is.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the right person did win. AJ's like it's like she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if it wasn't for her marrying to CM Punk and her name value, does she really come back to wrestling? Like
Right.
right now, it's like, okay, she's on screen and it's her name, but nothing really screams like main event person anymore.
Right. Right.
I don't know if it's just because so much time away from the business or what, but it's just, I don't know, this time around, like before, you could tell like main event person and everything, but with that little break in between, what, like 13, 15 years or something,
Mm-hmm.
it just, I just don't see it. Like it's maybe if she worked her way back up the ladder, coming back, but throwing her right back into the main event, like a championship match and stuff. Like the ladies don't have a lot of matches ever, so when they're on there, it's like almost like a main event for them, you know. So that's why I say main event.
Yeah.
But with the names, like the big names that they are, you would think it'd been better. Like I don't know. Like I just wasn't impressed with it. Like it was a good match, really good match, but it just wasn't. It felt more like a Raw or SmackDown match
Yeah. Yeah.
than a WrestleMania match.
Right.
The only thing that screamed WrestleMania to me was the entrance for both of them.
Right.
But it honestly felt like a Raw or SmackDown.
Well, you know what got me was the next night, even though Netflix has commercials like Raw would be on USA back in the day, right? The matches were longer on Raw than they were any of the PLE. I guess it's PLE now. Either night, it seemed like, except for the exception of what Rhodes and Orton went like 22 minutes. That was the longest match, I believe. Am I right?
No, that was the second longest. The longest was Roman
and Punk.
The Roman match, yeah.
Okay.
That one was like right at 33.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that long. Okay.
Yeah.
But the girls got more ring time on Monday, the matches that they had them on, right? Yeah. Than they did on any of the PLE over the weekend.
Like all the matches was kind of short. Like in my opinion, WrestleMania was good. Like, don't get me wrong, I like WrestleMania, but it's almost TKO, in my opinion, is kind of destroying WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, they're both almost 4 hours long. in night one, just the matches from bell to bell, night one was an hour 22 minutes in a 4 hour show.
Yeah.
Night two, an hour 26 minutes
Yeah.
for a 4 hour show. Like it's not even half of the thing is matches.
Yeah.
Uh, it was like rushed to go. It seemed like it was rushed to get to the ads and stuff. But then, like if you look closely, I saw online like after WrestleMania, because somebody broke it down. Uh, it almost looked like Jay knew, like you could tell, like she knew she was going to lose the championship, so she was trying to take in the moment and stuff like that. But then you looked at the ref, it looks like he was rushing her. I know the refs got cues to
That
do,
time cues. Yep.
but it seemed like they was really rushing. Any other time they'd be like kind of taking the moment, you know. But it seemed like the ref was rushing her, and then the match kind of seemed a little rushed, and then it went straight to the ad break, like after the match. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it seemed like they was trying to rush everything just to get to the commercials and stuff.
To get them ads shown, to make sure they get more ads in the future for pay. Yeah.
Let me just say, I'd rather have Vince in charge. The stuff might have been really predictable.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we know exactly what's going on. We've seen this stuff 500,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you got wrestling at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, I told you, I saw it online. The most featured thing of a wrestler at WrestleMania, and even looking at the thing for like how long the matches was.
Yep.
The longest thing for a wrestler was 40 minutes. Like 40 some minutes. We'll just say 40. Because the longest match was Punk and Reigns for close to 34.
Yeah.
It was 40 minutes, at least on night one. And you would never guess, and you was kind of shocked when you heard it.
Yeah.
It was Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And it was ads for the documentary on Netflix or whatever for him. Somebody that's been dead for like, 7 months now, had more TV time
8
at WrestleMania for ads and stuff than the actual wrestlers on the show.
Yeah.
And to me, that's very disappointing for a WrestleMania show.
Right. Yeah. You're right. I mean, especially as a consumer, you know that I just wonder how the live crowd reacted. I mean, did they get upset, or is it, I mean, do you get upset?
I would. I would.
Right.
But then, like, the one match that I was excited about, honestly, was Finn versus Dom.
Mm-hmm.
They took away, like, a major pop in the show when they announced the Demon King.
Right.
And you heard the pop when he came out, but that's what people was like, oh, is he gonna bring this back? Is he gonna do it? And then they spoil it like the week before or something.
Right.
Like, why? It's WrestleMania. It's surprises.
Yeah.
Like that pop for Finn being the Demon would have been massive. So, let's talk about surprises. What about Bianca coming out?
And because Cena, she came out when Cena was out there, and she's obviously pregnant. So yeah, that'll keep her.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but keep her on a shelf a while as well.
Well, she's been on the shelf for what, about
she been
10
injured?
months? Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, she's been injured with a hand injury.
Oh, okay.
But it was was supposed to got better, then all of a sudden rumors like, oh, it's not healed, and then she comes out with a big stomach. So
Yeah.
maybe they used that as storyline until she was ready to tell people, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then, of
But
course, we saw Danny Hassan come out with his little segment.
I honestly believe that's the best part of WrestleMania, and I hate to say it. It's it's it was some good matches.
Yeah.
All the matches was good.
Mm-hmm.
They had moments where they was really good, but it wasn't like a whole segment where it was great. Well, this is that one segment that was really great with the little Danhausen midgets.
Yeah.
You got Kit Wilson out there, The Miz. They want the WrestleMania moment. Cena out there as the host, and then all of a sudden, Danhausen comes out with his army of Dan midgets. I don't know what to call it. And then one pushes, Kit Wilson pushes a midget down,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden, Danhausen tells that one to take care of him, and he low blows, punches him right up in the crown jewels.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a pay-per-view later on down the line, but I don't know what day or not.
Yeah.
It is a pay-per-view of Crown Jewel, so keeping the theme going. And then, but as soon as he hits the ground, Danhausen tells him to dog pile him.
Yep.
Then the Miz had to do something stupid, starts yanking those midgets off of him. Then Danhausen punches him in the crown jewels. Then does the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then somehow the midget's going to start carrying the Miz away. And then the whole they're disappeared.
Yeah.
Nobody saw where they went.
We kind of saw Dan Hassan leave with the
Oh,
puff
no.
of smoke, and then
No.
jump out of the ring. Yeah, and then jump.
That must have been AI or something.
Okay.
Nobody really saw him leaving.
Okay.
No, I mean,
I just wonder if that wasn't done deliberately to say, like,
oh, it was.
you know, I don't think that they screwed that up.
But did you hear the pop when like Cena starts like laughing? Like he couldn't control it. He was laughing at the whole segment. And then when Danhausen's supposed to disappear, he goes underneath the ring, and everybody sees it.
Yeah.
It's like people sees it. It's on the big screen, everything. And then the crowd just erupts. Like he is over right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him that. He is over. And apparently from day one, the merchandise sales have been good.
Yeah.
So I give him that. So but see, now going back to what I was saying is, you know, Dan Hassan's that over, right? And he's not a very big guy, but they could market him and still make money because he's so over.
Yeah.
My question was earlier, I know we're going skipping back from WWE back to AEW, but my question was, do you think that Darby Allin's merchandise sales probably even half of what Dan Hassan makes, is it?
No.
I wish we could find this out.
Well, we will do the research and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. But if AEW is going to put Darby Allin as the world champion, WWE, I don't think it's believable. Put Danhausen as the world champion.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Darby Allin's got what? A backwards splash? Okay? Danhausen can curse the champion and picks up the win. So he could use that as a storyline to make it believable. Like, it could be believable if you do it.
If you believe he can curse people, yeah.
And he does it on TV all the time.
Okay.
He cursed that one ref where he was trying to hit Miz, but he hit the ref instead, and he couldn't count to three because of his arm and stuff. And after he uncursed him, then his life got a whole lot better. Went to Disney with his family, and they'd start laughing at his jokes. So it's real.
Yeah.
It's believable. Maybe he needs to tell the Chris Benoit in the 2027 Hall of Fame or WWE will be cursed.
Okay.
Because he deserves to be in it.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm lost train of thought now. Danhausen was in AEW.
Yeah.
But they never did anything with him.
No. He was, you could tell he was getting over. Like, he was getting cheered pretty good, but he wasn't really doing nothing. Yeah, he's not really doing nothing in WWE except like a couple of different skits. He finally had a match he won. He might have had two, but I know he won his first one and stuff. Like AEW, they just, I don't know, but it was weird because when he came to WWE, it sounded like he got booed and stuff. But he's the number one seller in like merch, and he's so over with the fans right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I like it.
Good.
I don't think he's gonna be world champion material. Let's be the storyline about cursing the champion, like I just said. If that happens, I should be the new producer and writer for WWE.
Yeah.
But
maybe
I think honestly they should really test it out. Give him a Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship, and just see how it goes. Because he could be one of them for sure.
So there's two more things I want to touch on WrestleMania. Right? Gunther and Rollins.
Yeah.
So Gunther, man, he yeah. I like Gunther. But what did you think about the match you had with Rollins at Mania?
It was okay. I do believe the right person won this match too. My thing is, you want him to be unstoppable, right?
Yeah.
You got him retiring Cena. You got him retire AJ. So you got him actually like all this. Yes, Seth is younger than all of them, but you want him to be unstoppable. He didn't look unstoppable. You gotta think he had interference from Braun, which, by the way, what a massive spear that was.
That was a good spear.
The second one from like coming off the ramp right there, not his best form.
Yeah.
But in his defense, that was a very long run to connect with the spear.
Mm-hmm.
But mess up on one spear out of like 100 one that looks amazing, I'll take it.
Right.
But you want him to be unstoppable, but you got interference. Where's he go? Like, is he really unstoppable how you want him? I mean, if you're gonna, in my opinion, you retire Cena, you retire Styles. Uh, before uh Brock decided to retire himself, it sounded like Gunther was going to retire him at SummerSlam. I don't
Right.
know how true that was,
Yep.
but you got him retiring all these legends, like. But then, like Seth Rollins, it looks like he was kind of struggled to beat him in a way because he has health. Uh, and then, um, but Oba, Semi, he should Gunther should be like him, be unstoppable, take it, yeah, go back and forth a little bit, but be dominant. If
Yeah.
that's the way that you want the career retire killer to be, should be like Oba, not one that looks like, oh, I barely got by this. I got lucky to get this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Oh,
they did the right choice with Oba because he matched size for size
yeah.
with
But like
Lesnar.
Oba, he took some punishment from Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brock got the upper hand, got the match and everything. So it went back and forth, but you saw how dominant he was.
Right. Right.
Gunther, on the other hand, he's getting these big match wins, but it's like he's not really doing it by himself.
Yeah.
And LA Knight brought that up on Raw, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
saying that he only won because it was pretty much 3-on-1 and stuff like that, which it was.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like people question him now. So I mean, you retire the legend from WWE, you retire the legend from TNA, but then you're struggling to win these matches. After you retire them two, you should have been unstoppable.
Right.
Nobody messing with you. And then if you want somebody to get close to winning, do a storyline of like him getting hurt, like his arm or something. Not
Yeah.
go back and forth and stuff. Like I'm just disappointed on how he's being portrayed.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Sounds like an AEW booking to me. Just kidding, y'all.
Are you? So the other one I'd like to bring up was Trick Williams, man. Before we talk about the match, did you see what he wore to the ring? That thing was,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
like it was what like that big fur coat, right? And then
Yeah.
it's almost like what they roll out for like weddings and stuff, like hooked up to his jacket,
Yeah.
kind of. It's like a big roll of toilet paper stuck to your shoe.
Or hanging
But I
out of
mean,
your pants.
but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's
Yeah.
like it just like I don't know, like his interest was cool.
Right.
Uh, and I hate to say this, but I think his entrance would have been a whole lot better if that rapper didn't come down with him, but instead Booker T did.
Okay.
And you know me, I don't like Booker T
Yes.
whatsoever.
I know.
But him doing Trick Williams' entrance in NXT, can you imagine the pop for that at WrestleMania? That would have been massive too.
Yeah.
Like they had the opportunity and then they went with the rapper and stuff. Like that was your chance. Like I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But like other than that, the entrance was great. Um, but I do believe the right person for the storyline was right on winning, if they really so Sami Zayn's pretty much a heel now. He gets booed out of places now. Now, if they would have done it where he did like some kind of heel thing
Yeah.
to pick up the win against Trick, I would have been okay with that 100%. But with him not really doing like anything heelish,
Right.
then I think the right person did win. If he would have tried to be a heel and stuff, like maybe did like if they knocked down the ref, because you know how easy that is. Um,
Is it?
yeah, it's very easy, especially if you're a red-headed ref.
I wasn't anything
Uh,
about it. I'm bald.
but I mean, if they would have knocked him out and then maybe did like some kind of heelish thing where use a chair or something just for him to get the advantage to win, I was like I said, 100% okay with that, no questions asked. But how he didn't really do nothing heelish, then I'm fine with Trick Williams winning.
Yeah, I was cool with that. I mean, I thought that overall, everything we talked about, a lot of good matches. Just a lot of them were shorter than what we expected to be
Oh yeah.
at a PLE, especially WrestleMania. But no, you've had a lot of stuff online. People trash it, but most of it was about the too many commercials and the short matches.
Yeah.
So I can agree on that to be a little upset over. But overall, if you're fussing over a match or something that happened the last 2 days, I don't see where your complaint is. So, but yeah.
What do you think about? We're about done with the WWE WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
What about
Unless you want to bring up something else.
kinda the Hall of Fame?
Okay.
Okay. I am so happy the Good Brothers was there to induct what many people believe the best professional wrestler on God's green planet, AJ Styles. The Good Brothers was there. I mean, sooner or later, if they're going to keep popping up on TV like this, I say you sign them to a contract and bring them back.
Yeah.
But that's not where I'm going with this. I just like they was on WWE TV once again. I had to make sure everybody knew they was at the Hall of Fame, and they was definitely the best dressed people at the event.
Did you also read the comment about from Kevin Nash about
The catering.
that there was
Yeah.
nothing there? He said it was like bags of potato chips and bananas and bottled water and an orange. I mean, he talked. I don't know. It probably was bad, but if it was, that's uncharacteristic for WWE because having been to a Hall of Fame while being employed by them, going to Manias while employed by them. There was always food. I mean, like you were at a taping, right? There was always stuff everywhere. So I don't know if they really are that bad. I don't know if he made a joke because it was a little off from the way it used to be, or if it really was that bad. Because if it really was that bad, that's not good because the WWE of old would have never have done any of their talent that way.
I will say, if the water came from Kroger, it probably was pretty good water.
Well, being that they were in Las Vegas, I'm sure they got a local brand out there.
Well, they probably do. But, yeah, if it's true, then that's sad.
Yeah.
Or like a Hall of Fame and stuff. You would think they would, like, do more, especially for a Hall of Fame for like the people and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, my thing about the Hall of Fame, one, Stephanie McMahon should not have that long of a speech.
Yeah. True.
Apparently, it's like the longest thing, anything for WrestleMania except for the ads. It was about 40 some minutes.
Yeah.
But AJ kept it nice and sweet. Uh, like I think he being like part of it recently as a wrestler and stuff, he knew like the people were probably tired. They probably want to get ready to go, so he kept it sweet and everything. He's still there for like the boys and stuff.
Yeah.
But somebody asked him if he missed wrestling, and it almost felt like the air got sucked out of the room because he said no, he did not miss wrestling. But it's only because he finally gets to do something that he hasn't done in like 25 years,
Yeah.
and that's be home with his family.
Yeah.
So if he, yeah, it's AJ. He probably has honestly about 5 years left in the tank. Just how good he is. He is still good. Yeah, he didn't like how some of his stuff was and stuff. He thinks he was like a little bit slower and stuff like that, but he was still really good. He probably could have stretched it out for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
But to give up like that to be with your family just shows how much of a good guy he really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's had a storybook career anyway, so
Oh yeah.
he has nothing else to prove to anybody or to himself, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
So he deserves all the accolades he gets.
I honestly think he should have been the headliner of the Hall of Fame and not Stephanie McMahon.
I tell you what would have been good if they'd have had Mania in the Atlanta, Georgia area and had him the headliner for the Hall of Fame because he's from Georgia, and that would have been really good.
Who knows? Maybe that's what TNA will do when they induct him because you know it's coming. When? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be a good idea for TNA, and they would actually probably do that.
Yeah.
Where are they really going to go in Georgia for WrestleMania? You know, like it might be a few places, but it's not going to be like a big marketplace like Las Vegas, California, Florida, Saudi Arabia, New York. You know, like yeah, they can find a place down there, but it's not going to be big money like they want. So,
yeah, they've had a Mania there before, right?
Yeah, but they're trying to go bigger and stuff. TKO is just greedy.
Yeah.
So, but no, the thing. What about what's floating around a lot about the Hall of Fame? Sid Vicious.
Oh yeah, his son.
Yeah. Which, if you think about it, I agree. I agree with it. Even if it's just the legacy, it was the legacy one, wasn't it? That he got inducted to.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Like he's in the Hall of Fame. Y'all put him in the Hall of Fame, but his family couldn't even accept the award because it's the legacy part. You know, they didn't put him on none of the shirts or anything for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, it might be the legacy, but he's still part of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
like they should have done. He's done a lot for the business. I mean, he even broke a leg on pay-per-view, and Goldberg told a red-headed referee to get out there to help him, and he didn't even help him.
What the hell's wrong with that guy? A bald guy would have went.
I know if Goldberg was a real man, he would have snapped that little red-headed ref in half. But no, seriously, they should have at least done something. Even cut back Stephanie's speech, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just give the people, like, the fans wanted this, him to go into the Hall of Fame. They get it, and what? You got a pitch, like a graphic on the screen for it. You just have somebody, like, you have his family walk out. You didn't even see him walk out at on the stage. They was already on stage at WrestleMania when they did
Mhm.
the, like, but it was like a quick thing, like the rest was too, but it just seemed like that was kind of quick. It's like, if you really didn't want him in the Hall of Fame, then don't do it. Like,
Right.
like, it just seems like they was like, okay, well, people have been asking for this, let's just do it.
Yeah. Kind of feels like they were just throwing a name out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I just feel like he deserves better. But here's the thing, too. Guys like him, uh, if they don't go in before they pass, it's kind of bad because they're not able to have their Hall of Fame speech. They're not able to thank the fans or any of the cool stuff. So it kind of sucks for guys. And it kind of sucks that a lot of times the company will go, well, hey, let's put him in the Hall of Fame. Oh, okay, that's the guy that died a year or two ago.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you think about these people before they're dead?
Yeah.
Everybody, life's uncertain for us all. Doesn't matter how old you are. But a lot of times, once guys get a certain age, and they've been in the business forever, their bodies wore down, and their health could be bad. We don't know what's going on. Sid actually went through cancer treatment, which a lot of people didn't know because he didn't tell them. So yeah, I think a lot of times they do not offer these Hall of Fame spots in time, and that just kills it for you anyway. Because my thing is, you can't put everybody in 1 year. I understand that, but a lot of times they'll put some people in. You're like scratching your head, like, why did he or they go in and this guy didn't until he was dead, right? So it's kind of one of them scratch the head type scenarios. But he's very well deserving of a Hall of Fame, and he had a good WWF run. He had a good WCW run. Sid had some good runs. So I'm glad to see him going in, but I wish it was better circumstances where his son and family could feel more good about it and appreciative about it. So
Now, do you think if he would have went into the Hall of Fame, like, I mean, I don't like how they say, oh, the celebrity wing, the legacy wing, all that stuff, and then the actual, like, Hall of Fame. If he would have went in without the legacy part of it, like, say like a Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, Demolition, Dennis Rodman, uh, does his family get a speech?
uh
Because they've done speeches before for people that's passed.
yeah.
Just like, uh, just throwing the name, like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
When he passed, Vicky was out there.
Yeah.
Chavo and Ray, they was out there.
Yeah. Uh
And then like Bray Wyatt, just a couple years ago,
yeah.
like Bo Dallas, like if he wasn't in the legacy part, I think he would have had like a speech.
Mm-hmm.
What makes the difference in the legacy to this?
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is this: regardless if it's legacy or you put someone in the Hall of Fame and they've passed already, but certain people get their family to speak for them, get to honor their memory, and all that, but other ones don't. It makes you wonder why you think these couple people are more important than these other people, right? And at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that way because they all went out there, performed for years for the wrestling fan. And Sid did just as much for this business. And I know some people's going to disagree with my comment. But to me, Sid did just as much for this business as an Eddie Guerrero or somebody. And he should be looked in the light and respected more. But you often wonder why certain people are respected more than others, but that's just anything, I guess. It's no telling. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's well overdue to go in, but I wish he'd have went in before he passed. Just like a lot of them, they passed, and then a year or two later, they put him in a Hall of Fame, and you're like, well, that was a little too late now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, this week that we finally came back, we touched on WrestleMania, the Raw after. We touched on some AEW, Darby Allin stuff with MJF, and the Hall of Fame and all that, man. So I think it's a good week. Now next week, guys, we are going to pull together for you out of the backlogs. We're going to pull together some 90s talk when I was on the road making my way to the big time. And we're going to talk about how the independents have changed from the 90s until now. We'll talk about how the independents in the 90s were so different than what the territories were. We'll compare all that and much more. And we're working on getting a former NWA athlete in here, professional wrestler. Now, listen, when I say NWA, I don't mean NWA now. I don't mean NWA of the 90s when it was all independent groups using the name. We're talking about Jim Crockett Promotions NWA. Real cool guest for you guys. We do not want to mention it yet. We want to make sure it's set in stone and we can bring it to you. So stay tuned for that. I'm also bringing on Randy Eller from WCW, a former WCW referee, and I'm also going to have Billy Silverman on here one week. So we got some guests lined up. They're coming. So, Mike, with that being said, we talked about Cowboy Revolution. Then go save 15% at checkout with using the code JamieT123. We haven't had any questions in my inbox recently or any comments but I'm sure we might now from Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous or whoever they may be. Feel free, guys.
They should be happy I talked about AEW.
Yeah, but you probably said something bad about AEW.
I didn't. I just said their world champion is not a believable world champion.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's, in my opinion, you can't say, like, if it's a dog fight, you can't say a Chihuahua because Darby is bigger than a Chihuahua. It's more like a poodle. A poodle versus a pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
It's not believable that the poodle's going to win.
You got a valid point. But David beats Goliath, right?
Yeah, but the iceberg beat the Titanic.
That's true. Very good point. But then Tessa Blanchard beat what was that guy's name? Sami Callihan, was it? Is that who she beat for the title?
Yeah. That's not believable either.
Okay, but it happened.
Did it really?
Unless it's AI.
It probably was. It was AI before AI was AI.
Okay. It was during the COVID era, wasn't it?
I think so.
Okay. I think it was. Maybe.
No, it was before that.
Oh, okay.
Only because, it was before that because the Good Brothers made it to TNA during COVID after they got released.
That's true.
So it was before that. But like I said, it's not believable. She should have never won the title. Guess what? That's why she wasn't in our top 10.
That's right.
TNA World Champion. Guess what? She probably would have never made it in the top 100. I don't think they had 100 different champions.
They haven't.
Well, she's not even in the top 100.
Okay.
It's not believable, just like Darby ain't believable. Yeah, like I said, he could be more believable if, in my opinion, if he bulked up stuff. Almost like Pac or Pac. What's his name?
Pac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He in WWE,
Mhm.
he was not believable as a world champion.
Yeah.
Especially when he was like the NXT to WWE part. He was not believable. AEW, look how much he's bulked up.
Yeah.
Like, height-wise, still the same. Everything's the same. He just bulked up. He's a believable world champion now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think if Darby at least bulked up some, then he could be world champion. He needs to bulk up just like our good friend Danhausen.
But
He's
Danhausen's
got muscles. Now, he's got muscles on muscles, man.
I'm gonna tell you something though. Danhausen has one thing that every other competitor doesn't have, and that is he can curse you, like you said.
I know one thing. Just like he said, he walked down the red carpet of the WWE Hall of Fame. So he said he's now an official WWE Hall of Famer.
All right.
And after that moment with John Cena, he said he's the new GOAT. Cena passed the torch to him.
That's right. You think you will?
Yeah, he already did.
Okay.
Danhausen is the new GOAT of WWE.
He was just afraid to get cursed.
No, he passed it. Cena knows real talent when he sees it.
Okay. Well, one thing we know is we love you guys out there listening to us, whether you listen to us on our social media feeds that are on the bottom of that screen, and you cannot see that. I will tell you who they are. They are Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. Also Pandora. And then if you want to watch us on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel. But if you're watching us, you know that. And it's Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. You can pull us up, like and subscribe, listen, watch, and send in questions, comments, concerns, complaints.
Which
But do
probably will get some now.
Yes. We're looking forward to it.
Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
That is right.
Jamie Mike's Wrestling Adventures.
That's right. Go like that, share it, and let people know about us. Let them know that you have a good time when you listen or watch. And let's continue this thing, guys. Let's continue it. So stay tuned for our guest coming up. We'll let you know more about it in the next episode. And Mike, you got anything else before we get out the door today?
No. We'll just be back. We ain't going to take another 2 weeks, 3 weeks off. We're going to be back soon, and we're going to have an awesome podcast coming up.
Yes.
Maybe we'll talk about that story where Jamie broke down on the side of the road off the exit. I love stories when you break down on the side of the road.
We will talk about it. Guaranteed.
Yes.
You got it. All right, guys. Until next time. And for the next adventure. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here.